Thank you, Judy, and thank you, Shauna. And my cup runneth over by seeing how many of you showed up here today. I do feel so blessed. So the way today's going to work is just to give you an idea. I'm going to take about 45 minutes. You probably have the introduction in front of you, but I like to give people an idea of what's going to happen. I'm going to talk about the organizing styles, a little bit about what is organization, what is feeling busy and overwhelmed, and if you know your style, what kind of techniques or products, and I have a few of those to show you, might work to help you. And then we're going to do an exercise and a little bit of accountability there, and it's going to be fun. So first I'm going to tell you how I became a professional organizer. When I was a little girl, I was from a family of 5 siblings, and my parents both worked full-time. So our household was utter chaos. And let's say we children went to school and we had to have a little form filled out, bring the form home, have mom sign it, and then cut it off at the dotted line. There was no way anyone could find scissors in this household. So, that's why I look at life from both sides. I can see when I work with my clients, what are some of their struggles? Because I also, in my DNA, had my yaya, Grandma Poulos, who lived across the street. And her house was calm and serene, and the scissors were always in exactly the same drawer, in the same place. And so I got to see that there's different ways to do things. The other piece of this is I was the neighborhood babysitter for a really long time, because being from a Greek family, I wasn't allowed to date till I was 18. So I was the neighborhood babysitter, and part of the enjoyment I got was going into people's homes, seeing how do they live, how do they do things, what does their house look like compared to our homes. So I think that's where the seed of the sociologist was born in me. So that's how I became an organizer. As later on in life, as I was looking for a career that I found very fulfilling, I said, what do people need? Well, they need more time, but there is no such thing as more time. So what can I do to help them to feel as though they have more time, or to use the time they do have better? So I started this business 20 years ago in Chicago. I've been doing it ever since. And I always say, I learn more from my clients than they ever learned from me. It was true when I started, and it's still true today. So I've come up with this 6 different organizing personality styles, because one of the things I always found every time I would go into a new client's home was massive books on how to get organized. And they would say to me, why doesn't it work for me? I was like, well, because those books are written by people who are organizers, and they don't think the way you do. So the first style that I'm going to talk to you about, if you want, you feel free to follow along with the handout, is the triangle. Now, the triangle is intuitively organized, and one of the things the triangle would like, and Deepa is my assistant today and is going to help me, would be technology. Triangles are intuitively organized, and they have no trouble with it. They love technology. This is their best buddy, the brother P-Touch, because they label everything. It's just a real natural for them. If there's one thing about triangles, is that they don't understand that other people are not triangles. They think that everyone in their family is just purposely trying to aggravate them by doing other things. So that can be their challenge. And every one of these styles is excellent and perfect. They're just all different. So if you are a triangle, you're intuitively organized, or at least even part of you, please raise your hand. So we have a few here. Yeah, partly. Yeah, partly.
In the office, out of the office.
Yeah, see, and it can be different. It can be different before and after you had children, and all those other things too. So as a triangle, you have so many strengths and gifts. Great leadership. You can do projects by getting them started and keeping track and getting them finished. So the triangle has some wonderful things that they offer. And also, the triangle probably loves technology. So that's their best thing, is technology. They love it. So if you're a triangle, most likely you keep your whole calendar and your to-do list on your smartphone. So if you're a triangle and you love your smartphone, raise your hand. Okay. Tell me one thing you love about it.
It's just all right here wherever I go. It's like I don't have to remember it. It's just I put it right here and I can look it up.
All in one place. So that is the beauty of the triangle. Now I'm going to go on to style number 2. Style number 2 is the visual. Visuals need to see their stuff. Visuals like pretty things. Oops. Visuals like color and see-through. So they like to use things like this in their office. And visuals are great at storytelling. Visuals are good at teaching. They can describe things in a way that no other style can. Visuals need to keep their stuff out. They need to see their stuff because out of sight is out of mind. So with a visual, they love beautiful things. So let's say they have, all of a sudden their stuff is kind of junking up and they're not happy with it because it's bugging their visual side. They'll take this beautiful bag and they'll fill it with all kinds of junk and stuff it underneath the dining room table, and they'll throw a gorgeous tablecloth over it, and they'll put some flowers. But there's this little lurking thing inside of them saying, is there something I'm forgetting to do? So visuals need to be careful about that. So visuals love working with colors. So if you're a visual, head on over to Bed Bath & Beyond and use things like this, and you'll be very happy. And this way, you can put your stuff in here, and then if you have a nice to-do list, you might want to write down what you've put in there and when you need to go back and get it. So a lot of women are visuals. How many visuals do we have here? Yeah, women are visuals. And visuals have many gifts as well, as all the styles do. The third style is the round. Now when I call it a round, it doesn't mean that you necessarily like round things. It means you think outside the box. Rounds look at things very differently from how other people do, and they would not ever really be very comfortable working at a perpendicular desk. It would just not suit them. They're better off working from the couch or from the floor. Rounds, being very tactile, could really enjoy something like this. So if you're a round and you don't think kind of like in the perpendicular and parallel lines like the rest of the world that does, you did better before Starbucks was even open. You were at the coffee house working instead of in your own house. You love looking out the window. That's where the round gets their inspiration, not looking at a computer screen. How many of you are rounds? Oh, by the way, I said there were 6 different organizing styles. I think I did, but really there's 7. Because your unique combination, because you could have a little bit of all of you in this, you're the 7th. So that's why if you want to use a little technique from this one, a little from that one, those are the things that are going to work best from you. Now just a little note about this. I feng shuied my dressing room area, and I discovered that I had this with the toilet paper in it in my wealth corner. So I decided, I don't know if that was necessarily a bad thing, but as soon as I did the feng shui, which I learned about in the Mastermind group, I decided to relocate that. So there you go. So we have a lot of rounds in here too, but I'm not surprised. This is a very creative group. Stacker. Okay. The most prevalent style of organization are the stackers. Stackers have excellent qualities about them. The most fascinating is that they're flexible. Stacking allows you to be flexible, so it's naturally a good way for you to keep your stuff. You stack it. And if a stacker called the office and said to their assistant, it's the second stack from the left from my computer. It's about 1/3 of the way down. It's beige. It's that piece of paper. Could you get that for me? Because they pretty much know it's in every stack. And that's the beauty of stacking. Now, if stackers at their extreme start then stacking on pretty much any flat space, is fair game? Okay. Once it gets to the floor, that's when you want to look at your stuff and say, maybe I'm keeping this too long. because stacking and keeping everything is like a giant insurance policy, but if you never can make a claim on it because you can't find it, it's not really doing what it's supposed to do. So one of the things I help stackers do is to go vertical. So instead of having things laying flat, we tip up and go vertical. I'm sure you've seen all these. It's called a little sorter. It's a step sorter, and it enables you to take a whole bunch of stuff and go vertical with it and actually still see whatever it is. You could still see. And there's one tiny little tip, and I'm going to have Deepa hold this. I'm going to grab this. We all know about manila folders. Here it is, 1/3 cut. You write the name on here. But a lot of people don't know about this little technique on the bottom. So every one of these little bends holds 25 sheets of paper. So if you are a stacker and you swear to yourself that you're going to use the sorter, but you have this feeling that you might go back to your stacking ways, label the spine. And this way, if you like to keep it in a stack, you'll be able to still see what's in here. So you notice the stacker is also a visual because we've got the colors. Thank you. So how many stackers do we have? Yay! Yeah, lots of stackers. And so I would like one of you to just tell me what are the benefits for you of being a stacker. Who would like to say yes?
Please tell us.
One benefit is when my children or my husband need something, they'll call me and I'll know exactly what shelf it's on, second drawer to the left, halfway back, and I know that.
There you go. So stacking works for you. Yes. Another one.
Can work on many projects at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are a lot of benefits to being a stacker. So sometimes it gets a bad rap, but don't believe it. Okay. All right. The fifth style is also fascinating because they all are to me. That's the cyclone. My very first client I ever had was a cyclone. And he was a writer, and he did a lot of other things. He was a day trader, and so it was I learned all about these businesses. And he just had paper, a sea of paper from one end to the other. And every time he would go to find one thing, he would make a mess of the rest of it. And brilliant, cyclones are great at starting things. They're very good at starting, but they get bored with the details. They're visionaries, they're inventors. Did you ever see Einstein's desk? He was a cyclone, and look what came out of that mind. So if you're a cyclone, I have a mini little prop to show you. The most important thing for cyclones is to do things that only require one step. One step. Put things on hooks and in cubby holes. If you have a child who is a cyclone, open bins. If you look at how children's toy storage is designed and you're a grown-up cyclone, use that system. That will work for you. Everything's open and it's easy to get to. And the most important thing for any cyclone is rituals are my friend. Rituals. Same time, same place. My keys go here. My sunglasses go here. My phone goes here. My wallet goes here. So if you will just embrace one or two little rituals like that, it'll change your life as a cyclone. Cyclones? We've got a lot of cyclones here, but they're not raising their hand with passion. So let's see you cyclones. Okay, and who's a cyclone and loves it? Tell us why.
Just because I do make those quick decisions, and my memory, unfortunately, since kids and I'm getting older, it's not as good as it used to be. That is something that I've had to learn, that I have to write things down. But what I do love what you said is that you have the memory and stuff like that, but I do have my rituals, and I am teaching my kids the same thing. I put my stuff exactly where I know I'm going to find it, because otherwise I will never find a key or my purse or my phone or that. And I do have those rituals, and they work wonderfully.
Yay, rituals are your friend. Rituals are your friend. Also, for cyclones, there's this company called LYNK. I just really like all their stuff. So I don't have the patience to put my scarf through those holes in those hangers that are called scarf hangers. I don't like those. I like to be able to just throw my scarves on something. And I just saw this the other day, so I thought I would bring it to show you gals. and it's a scarf organizer. It weighs like 5 pounds. I don't know why they made it weigh so much, but this would be great. If you think cyclone, one step, this is what they like. And if you have children who are cyclones and you have a toy box, take the lid off because they'll never put it down. So just take the lid off and maybe they'll use it that way. So the last style, number 6, is the historian. Historians as a group can either be super organized or super disorganized. And the ones who call me are the ones who are super disorganized. Historians love history. They revere it. If it weren't for historians, we wouldn't have libraries. We wouldn't have museums. We wouldn't have the Mona Lisa. So they are the protectors for the future of things that are one of a kind. So historians, they're always willing to dig for more answers. So the historians that have a lot of stuff also sometimes have a problem of keeping things that have no value. And this is the distinction. This is where it gets a little troublesome. So one of the things I would say is, are you really ever going to have this fixed? Are you really ever going to sell this on eBay? Are you really going to sell this on Craigslist? Does it have value to you in your life today? Have your children told you time and again they don't want your furniture? So this is a big thing with people downsizing. That's what happens. So for historians, they need to remember, keep it in the heart, not in the desk, because they will keep everything. They're very sentimental, and they have difficulty separating the item from the emotion from maybe the person who gave it to them. So for historians, I love Metro shelving, stainless steel shelving. It's big, it's on wheels. It costs $125. You can get it at all the big box stores. And what it does is a theme in organizing. To maximize the space, go vertical. You get those big shelving units, peripheralize them around your garage. Don't put them in the middle. You gotta park the car there. And Sterilite brand shelving's my favorite. It lasts. Get the latches. It's stronger. It's worth $2 extra. And put things in and label them and group like kind items. So if you have a bin and it has a whole bunch of different kinds of stuff in it, it's not really very useful. So if you're going to be a historian, be an organized historian so you can enjoy your stuff. Because if you want it, you want to be able to find it. So how many of you are historians? I am.
My husband.
I am. I'm a historian.
I'm not sentimental.
So for those of you who are historians and love it, tell me what you love about it. Yes?
I have some of the most amazing books. Some of them are like 200 years old.
Yeah, see? We need people like you. We need those things, so thank you. Okay, so I like to help people create a personal sanctuary in their home or office because I feel that every woman deserves that. So if you'd like to follow along with me on the handouts, just want to talk a little bit about if you feel disorganized, then that's how it feels to you, then you are. No matter what your space looks like, if you feel that it supports you and it works for you, then you're not disorganized. That's somebody else's idea of it. I also want to talk about perfectionism. We look in magazines and we see homes that look, glamorous and gorgeous and beautiful, and it's not a good idea to compare ourselves against that. What I do recommend is comparing where you are now with whatever system you're using with where you were last time and see what some of the benefits are by having tweaked it a little bit, just modified something and say, oh, now that I have rituals, this is great. So one of the things I also do is I want to help women feel really good about themselves. So when I go in to help somebody get organized, I want to know that whatever it is that I'm recommending is good for their soul. It makes them feel good and no judgment, and we'll work on it your way. We'll do it a little at a time, baby steps. Baby steps. Don't say, okay, I'm going to organize my entire kitchen. Say, I'll organize my junk drawer today. then you can feel success. Give yourself kudos and that pat on your back. And I would pat myself on the back right now, except I'm wearing some sort of audio thing, and if I did that, it would probably go boom, boom like that. So we want to make sure that you get to do that for yourselves. And it's a means to an end. If you spend all your time organizing, you're procrastinating. So there's some people who are super organized and they're not really getting anything else done. So it's just a tip about that. So I'd like you all to make a commitment. I am on page 2 of the handout, and it's the giveaway commitment. So you're going to have a partner later on. You're going to be working with another partner. So the giveaway commitment, just start thinking about it, is that you're going to give away 3 things a day, or throw away 3 things a day for the next 7 days.
That's hard.
Is it hard? Yeah. Little things count. I mean, seriously, if you're going through your junk drawer and you found a little broken paper clip, that counts as 1. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See, that's what I'm saying. You know, give yourself credit and kudos and say, I did that. These are my 3 things. It's okay. See, it's no longer in your junk drawer. So there you go. So you're going to do it. Okay. All right. So that's the giveaway. And one of the things I do is when it's really difficult for people to give something away, we do a little ritual. It's a blessing ritual. And we bless this item. We thank it. We thank it so much for its support of us, how we used it, how beautiful it was, maybe even who gave it to us. And then we take a deep breath and we donate it and we send it on, because I'm very big in helping people donate, send it on to someone else who's going to use it. And I think that will really help a lot of people if they could create a tiny little ritual and not take too much time on it. Otherwise, you're blessing that paper clip. But, you know, just something to help you to say goodbye to things. Okay. So how do you do it? I have a few things here on page 2. If I did not own it, would I buy it now? Do I even like it? Will I ever use this or read this? If it's broken, will I fix it? Will I sell it on Craigslist? And remember, everything that you own is paying, you are paying for that. You're paying rent on it to stay in your house. So, yeah, it's not paying you. You're paying for it. So that's what you say. And do I have a good place to keep this? And could I find it when I need it? And is it aggravating me in any way? So the aggravation test is a really good one too. And will donating it help enhance somebody else's life? And usually it will. I'm very big on Habitat for Humanity. I'm a volunteer for them. I teach their De-clutter courses for the community, and I take all of my clients' stuff to Habitat for Humanity, and they do great things. So I always think about that. Could somebody else use this more than I can? So on page 3, I have a list of hot tips, and we're going to use these for the exercise that you're going to do with your partner. So I'm going to just read one, and then I'm going to ask everybody else as you go down to read the next ones. You guys willing to participate in that? Okay, page 3, hot tips for the chronically disorganized, and the rest of us too. I'll read the first one. Do one thing at a time. Multitasking will derail you. Go ahead, please.
Create a place for everything. Invest your time to design a personal system. Are your cabinets, drawers, and closets so full that things pile up around them with no place to go? Time to donate.
Okay. Number 3?
Follow rituals and routines, same time, same place. Group like-kind items. Create organized projects by labeling each container, bin, or file folder.
Slow down. I used to help people do more. Now I help them do less.
Okay, we'll take a break here. When I first started out working with corporate America, I was hired by companies to help their executives be more productive. And it was like, what else can they do? What else can they do? We're paying this salary. The more we can get out of this person, the better it is for the bottom line. And I just started seeing that midway in my career that people weren't doing real well, trying to do the job of 3 people. So the way I work now is I literally help people do less. I help them to figure out, what should I not be doing? Where's my not to-do list? Now I can really create my to-do list because I know what my true priorities are. So then I have a little picture of myself up there. My hobby is painting furniture. It gives me great joy, and we're so lucky we live in Southern California where I can do this hobby all year long. And I have this little system set up, which I was talking to you about before, about the rolling racks and everything in there and labeled. So when I want to have fun with my hobby, I roll it out, and it's a one step, and it's ready to go. That helps me to have more fun while I'm doing it and enjoying it. So I'd like you to think about what your hobby is also as we talk a little bit more today. I'm not going to read the rest of the 10 of these because I'm going to have you, when you're doing your partner exercise, just kind of read them, pick a couple that might work for you, and something a little bit different that you've not tried before. Okay, paper is the most difficult things for people to manage. We are not a paperless society. It was promised to us years ago. And some triangles have learned to scan everything to like a scan snap and upload it up to Evernote, and they're doing great with it. And that's fine, and that works for them. But for the rest of us, I still like manila folders. I like file cabinets. I use the expansion files. I have some here. You could come see them later if you want. I think the main thing is set up a system that works the way your brain works. I recently set up a client of mine with a straight alphabetical system. I don't recommend that, but for her and the way her brain works, and every single one had to have the plastic label too. You know how long it does to do that? She wanted it to be like that to work with her. Otherwise, she just couldn't see through it all. So we did it that way. That's what she wanted, and that's how we did it. So what can you do with paper? Well, everything you do is a do. Even if you leave it sitting there, that's still leaving it sitting there. So do, pay, read, file, toss. Whenever you see an item, think about what is the verb attached to this? Oh, I want to pay this bill. Okay, I'll just keep it grouped with the other bills to pay as opposed to having getting smushed or cycloned or buried under a stack. And I am just really loving this new book, and it's at the bottom of page 3. It's called Affirmations. The affirmation, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about this book, is item number 15. Why is organizing so easy for me now? It's asking yourself the right question. It's not an affirmation. It's got an O in it, Affirmations. And it's a great little book, and it's called The Great Little Book of Affirmations by Noah St. John. It's about asking yourself the right questions. So if number 15 speaks to you when you're doing the group exercise, ask yourself, why is organizing so easy for me now? That puts your brain to work. And it's going to tell you something about why is organizing so easy for you now. We're going to go on to the next page. A little bit about flow, and then we have Christina Aguilera's closet. If there's one thing that I've done to help young parents with the flow of stuff coming in and going out of their homes, it's setting up this big system, the big bins that say things like donate to charity, returns, give or ship to friends and relatives, gifts for others, electronic. So you see what I'm doing? The grouping. It's grouping like kind. Get it out of the house. Get it out of the house, get it into the garage, just right outside your garage door. When it's time to take it, you grab the whole bin, throw it in the back of your car, and go and do it. And that can really make a huge difference for flow and stuff getting kind of blockages. So, okay, we have Christina Aguilera's closet. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but it's a playroom for her child as well because it's huge. And I remember one time I went to some event and I said, would you rather have Christina Aguilera's voice or her closet? And all the women said they'd rather have her closet. So, I know. All right, so find your mantra. We do have a designer here. We have an expert here on helping you look and feel your best. So, and everybody in this room, everybody here is devoted to helping transform somebody else's life in some way. We're all just experts in our own fields, aren't we? So, here are some of the things that I use to help people find their mantra when they're having trouble getting rid of clothes. It's not what you read in the magazines. I don't say, have you not worn this in a year? Put the hanger in backwards and flip it. I don't do that. I like to do something a little different. Do I love the way I feel when I wear this? Even if it's 10 years old, if you love the way you feel when you wear this, you feel it's a classic and it's good for you, we're keeping it. Okay. Does it make me look great? Does it play up my assets? If I did not own this, would I buy it now? And does it have sentimental value? I don't want to be cruel. If you love that thing with the peplum jacket because it reminds you of the time that you went to the Oprah show in the 90s, I say, okay, let's make an exception. We'll keep that one, okay? Because you love it. Then the other flip side is, will someone else be happier to have this than I am? Do these shoes kill me? And why am I hiding behind this boxy jacket? Why did I wear this jacket, and why am I still wearing it now that I've lost 25 pounds? Donate, consign. If you do consign, I help my clients consign. I like my sister's closet. I go to all the different consignment shops. Don't tear out the tags. If they're itchy for you, but you think you're going to consign it because it's couture and you want to get some money back down the road, you have to keep the tags in. That's just a little tip. So if you cannot afford Christina's closet, I'm going to show you a couple little things. Let's see if Deepa can help me. You probably all know about the skinny hangers, right? Instead of using the tube hangers, if you use these, see how skinny they are? This will save you 30% of the closet rod space. That's a lot. You can put a lot more clothes on these. And you can get 30%, yeah. So if your closet rod is this big, this much is just from the tube hangers. And you can get the ones, if you have a lot of tank tops, you can get that. So that's one thing. Oh, and then these are the nifty little things you can hang on here. Joy Mangano. You've probably seen her on HSN if you stay up till 2 in the morning. But this is her brand. I buy all her stuff at Target. I buy everything at Target because they have the best return policy. And I buy a lot of stuff from my clients, and then whatever we don't use, I can take back. I'd rather be ready than not. And these are good. You can turn these into hangers for the pants or your skirts.
What is it?
Oh, these are called finger clips. I'll have them up here. You could come look. Okay. What else do we have for clothes?
I've been looking for those.
Yeah, well, I can't really answer for Target's whatever, but usually they are.
But is it in the same space?
Yeah,
as the hangers? Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Okay, and here's that Link brand again, which I love, and these are shelf dividers. So if you're a stacker and your stacks get so tall that they start tipping over and you're like stacking on those shelves, so use these, get the tall ones. Opt for the extra $2, get the tall ones, they're shelf dividers, and they're fantastic.
And those are make sure they fit in your closet.
Make sure the height will work. Yes, you're absolutely right. She knows because she designs closets. Yeah, yeah. And there's one, they do have the shorter ones. You know what? This is Bed Bath & Beyond. Sorry, this is Bed Bath & Beyond. And you can buy all Link stuff online also. Okay, I'm doing a trade here with Deepa. So for people, now I'm going to be doing a closet for somebody, and she has these Sterilite plastic containers in her closet. And I'm like, let's put something pretty in your closet. You could use those in the garage. So we're switching over. We're going to switch to these because they're more tactile and they have different sizes and shapes. She'll be able to put some underwear or something in here, and that'll work great. So if you can possibly make out the black and white photo on the bottom of page 4, my client was using baskets for her shoes. I don't recommend using baskets for shoes. So instead, go to Target and get the horizontal shelving units so you can maximize the airspace in your closet. And then a little technique, if you alternate your shoes, toe to heel, in a 3-foot space, you can get one more pair of shoes on that, on that shelf. So instead of just 3 pair, you can get 4 pair of shoes on that shelf. So, and these are very inexpensive things that you can buy. These vertical, horizontal shelving units are available for about $10. So now we're going to do the partner exercise. So if you would kindly look at page 5, I'd like you to pick one person and take a look at whether or not your inner critic might be having some say on your organization or what you call lack of organization, and how to help you possibly shift one little thing. So we're going to take about 4 minutes for this exercise. So 2 each. I hope everyone has a pen. the exercise on page 5, and I will give you some midway timing about this. So please proceed.
Why is it so easy? Why is it so easy? Such a great question.
Why is it so easy? Hello!
So what do you feel about yourself? Is that when you're in the midst of the chaos?
What do you feel about yourself? Well, some people say, what's wrong with me? Some people say, how come I can never do this? Some people say, how come everyone else can be organized? And there's a lot of people who won't let anyone in their home. They won't let anyone in their home because they're ashamed. So, you know, so you guys don't have that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Some days I do.
Yeah, okay.
I love the back of that.
Oh, I should do a turnaround then. All right, I think I'm going to wrap this exercise up. Oh, well, when I walk up, you'll see it. Okay. Okay, we're going to wrap up. We're going to wrap this up. Hello, we're wrapping this up. Wrapping it up. All right, we're wrapping this up. We're wrapping up the exercise. We're wrapping up the exercise. We're wrapping up the exercise. We're wrapping it up on the exercise. We're wrapping up this exercise. All right, okay. Wrapping it up, ladies, on the exercise. Yeah. All right. We're wrapping this up. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay, ladies. I wonder if my little thing will work. Okay. Yeah, ladies, I don't have a bell. I should have gotten your bell, Shauna. But we're going to wrap up this exercise. Okay. Thank you. All right. We're wrapping up this exercise. Judy's tapping the water cooler. Yeah, so everybody has their own way to wrap things up. So anyway, I love when I hear the kind of energy in this room that I heard where you're all talking to each other. So if one of you has a revelation that you would like to share and also to say your commitment, would you please raise your hand? Yay! Sylvia.
So I'm a stacker visual with some other aspects, and I have a home office with a walk-in closet, which is now my business archive. And it started with nice shelving, but the shelves were not big enough to fill the whole room. And when those shelves finished, I started stacking on the floor. And now I can't even open the door without anxiety, because it might be that the stacks are falling towards me when I open the door.
That could happen.
And I can't reach a few things without climbing over stacks, tiptoeing, being scared that I break something.
See, she's a visual. See how well she's telling the story? We can all see it. So what are you going to do? Let's hear it.
So now, the big realization is I love binders, and what very often keeps me from filing this paper stuff is that I don't have a free space to put out the open binder and have a puncher to punch it. So I will buy now different shelves from the floor to the ceiling with an open in-between shelf, hip height,
Which can work.
so that I have a space where I can open the binder and punch the papers and nothing on the floor.
And that's your answer. That is your answer to question number 15. Why is it so easy for me to organize now? Because you figured it out with affirmations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So did you guys find this exercise helpful?
Yes.
Okay. All right, good. I would welcome every one of you to email me. I know you're going to email your partner. Would you CC me on that too? I seriously would love to hear what you've done, because didn't I say I learn more from my clients than they ever learn from me? I would just love to share that.
Before and after photos?
I love that. I love that. You know, in fact, In fact, since she brought that up, I would like to make an offer to every one of you to give you a free virtual organizing session. It's a half hour, and you send me pictures before and after, and I walk through the space with you. So if you would like to do that, all you need to do is bring your card up here and please give it to Deepa, and we'll set it up. And I've done virtual organizing with some of the other people in this room, and it works. Okay? All right. So I'm getting ready to wrap up here, and I just once again want to say that, so first of all, very fun. So happy that you all showed up today. And if you got one little nugget, one little thing that you can do to make a shift, that's good, okay? Don't have to try and change your whole world. And I would love to get your feedback from that. So I do need to use my notes. My wrap-up is, expect the unexpected. You cannot plan everything. And seek excellence, not perfection, because somewhere along the way in this handout I could talk about the perfect style for you, but you're going to change. So that perfect style is not going to be so perfect for you down the road. So you just keep adjusting, adapting, and shifting the style. And I have a song for you. There's a young artist, and her name is India Arie.
Yes.
And I love her so much, and I call her the poet of her generation. And the reason I love her is she looks for the beauty in all women. So we know how we talked about old school, and some people are going to use a written calendar, which is great, keep using it. Some people are going to use the electronic. Well, do you guys remember what this is?
Yes.
I need this to give me the courage to stand up here and sing this song and make sure I start on the right note so I can hit the highest note there is. So I'm going to do it again. Sometimes I shave my legs and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I comb my hair and sometimes I won't. Depending how the wind blows, I might even paint my toes. It really just depends on whatever feels good in my soul. La 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 la, I'm not the average girl from your video. And I ain't built like a supermodel, but I learned to love myself unconditionally because I am a queen. I'm not the average girl from your video. My worth is not determined by the price of my clothes. No matter what I'm wearing, I will always be India Arie. When I look in the mirror, the only one there is me. Every freckle on my face is where it's supposed to be. And I know my Creator didn't make no mistakes on me. My feet, my thighs, my lips, my eyes, I love in what I see, yeah. La 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 la. Am I less of a lady if I don't wear pantyhose? My mama says a lady ain't what she wears, but what she knows. And I've drawn a conclusion, it's all an illusion. Confusion's the name of the game. A misconception, a mass deception. Something's gotta change. Don't be offended, this is all my opinion. Ain't nothing that I'm saying in law. This is a true confession of a life-learned lesson I was sent here to share with y'all. So get in where you fit in, go on and shine. Clear your mind, now's the time. Put yourself on the shelf, go on and love yourself, 'cause everything's gonna be all right. Yeah, yeah. I'm not the average girl from your video, and I ain't built like a supermodel, but I learned to love myself unconditionally because we all are queens. I'm not the average girl from your video. My worth is not determined by the price of my clothes. No matter what I'm wearing, I will always be an organizing queen and a masterminding queen. Keep your fancy drinks and your expensive minks. I don't need that to have a good time. Keep your expensive car and your caviar. All I need is my guitar. Keep your crystal and your pistol. I'd rather have a pretty piece of crystal. Don't need your silicone. I prefer my own. What God gave me is just fine. Uh-huh. I'm not the average girl from your video, and I ain't built like a supermodel, but I learned to love myself unconditionally because we all are queens. I'm not the average girl from your video. My worth is not determined by the price of my clothes. No matter what I'm wearing, I will always be an organizing queen and a masterminding queen because we all are queens. And ladies, I'm going to have you sing it with me. I'm going to tell you what the words are. Because I am a queen. We're going to sing it 3 times. Ready? Because I am a queen. Because I am a queen. Because I am a queen. Woo! Thank you. I hope I've been able to help change and transform your life just one little bit today. Thank you all for coming.